Ladies and gentlemen, this is 216th day of the Russian invasion and the 9th year of Russian war against Ukraine. I'm Shevchenko, and on behalf of Media Center and Ukrinform, I would like to welcome all of the journalists who are telling the truth to the world about our fight for freedom. Today we have a special event to discuss. We'll talk about how the art helps to show the world the whole truth and collect funds for our victory. We're going to be discussing it with the team that created an immersive project about Ukraine, and one of them about Taras Shevchenko was launched before February the 24th, while the next one, Ukraine Land of the Brave, has been launched this year. More than 6.5 million hryvnias have been fundraised for Ukraine, but what's important, these projects keep winning hearts and minds of the free world. We will discuss it with Valery Kostyuk online from Toronto. Valery, we met when you were presenting in Toronto the immersive exhibition about Van Gogh. So tell us please, how did you manage to bring the cutting-edge technologies into the Ukrainian context? This immersive exhibition right in downtown of Toronto, which you and G have witnessed when I conducted the one about the Van Gogh, but now we are presenting the exhibition Ukraine, the Lands of the Brave, which has been presented at the Blues Village Ukraine Toronto Festival in Toronto, which we have been creating for more than 5 months. We prepared it for more than 5 months together with my producer Natalya. It was important that these should be our Ukrainian artists, a creative director whose vision has been implemented, as well as Timur Polyansky, a composer. They all worked at the time of war. They have analyzed lots of materials. More than 10,000 separate works have been analyzed, and we have worked with large Ukrainian TV channels and other media holdings. We have worked with separate journalists and photographer Sergei Loiko. His pictures are at our exhibition. Also pictures of Dmytro Stus from Azovstal. By the way, he was freed recently, and we're waiting to meet him to demonstrate what we can do from his pictures. This exhibition allows to get inside the war, so to speak, especially for the Western audience, because unfortunately right now Ukraine is not at the front pages of newspapers, and it's important for us to remind people that this is very relevant, that it's an ongoing war in Ukraine and that Ukraine does need help. This exhibition is the result of our efforts for the last couple of years. Our first effort was immersive exhibition, The World of Taras Shevchenko, which involved Dmytro Stus and the National Museum of Taras Shevchenko in Kiev. So this immersive exhibition traveled across the world, 20,000 visitors in Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, US, Canada. We've been demonstrating this exhibition at the beginning of the invasion just to show what are we fighting for in this war. Our goal now is to show this exhibition, Ukraine, the Land of Brave, along with the immersive exhibition about Taras Shevchenko, all across the world, to tell the world who we are, the Ukrainians, what we're fighting for. The premiere would be launched in Winnipeg. Yulia Zmerzla, the head of the Ukrainian Cultural Center there, will tell more about this premiere, as well as a number of other world premieres for this center. For the last 6 months, we've been using the method of immersive exhibitions for fundraising for various projects in Ukraine. So we have then transferred those funds to various projects. Natalya Delieva, my producer in this project, will tell you more about those initiatives. So we are ready to show this exhibition to the world. So the floor goes to Natalya Delieva, the Ukrainian producer. Miss Natalia, can you explain to those who haven't seen it what an immersive exhibition is all about? It's full immersion into the material, right? Is it difficult to show the Ukrainian world to the world, to the outside world? This exhibition, first titled Ukraine in the Time of War, then we renamed it Ukraine, the Land of the Brave. That was the toughest project in my career because it's an ongoing war. The team has been scattered all around the world, living in different conditions. We didn't know what tomorrow keeps in store for us, and like one of our teammates said, what can I do if tomorrow we could be killed? But we didn't stop like our soldiers. We've been moving towards concluding, finalizing this project. All of the key TV channels, mass media, governments, people helped us, provided the materials for us, and that was all about tears. We looked at murders and killings and ruinations, all the tears that were shed, and we're still shedding tears. It never happened like this in my life. What a visitor would see at this exhibition. An immersive space is like 500 square meters, 360 degrees presentation of the content, even on the floor. So a person is immersed into this exhibition, getting himself or herself into that time and place, and living and feeling all that. So immersive is all about feeling as if you are present in those events while you're at the exhibition. Yulia Zmerzla, an executive director of Ukrainian Cultural and Educational Center in Winnipeg, will join us now. Those who follow US and Canadian culture would know that her center is one of the most prominent Ukrainian cultural centers in Northern Hemisphere. So late October, Winnipeg will launch this immersive project. So what would you want to tell the world and Canada with this project? Well, thank you. First of all, let me explain what this cultural and educational center is all about. For 80 years, we are the heart and soul of Ukrainian community in Canada. And from the very beginning of this project, it was all about protecting the cultural heritage, those materials that would be most likely destroyed in Ukraine for all the obvious dangerous reasons. People were risking their lives to protect this heritage for the coming generations. So now, in the time of this war, the task number one for us is to protect our culture, traditions, language, and share our cultural heritage. So our collection is a demonstration of how our nation was overcoming the hardships, how it inspires us for new victories. Each item in the collection is an evidence of being victorious in various front lines. And this immersive exhibition, which we're proud to host, is now an opportunity to show the largeness of the Ukrainian culture. And those collections come to life, sharing a powerful message of life. When a year ago I met Valery, I couldn't even imagine that in a year's time, we will open the biggest immersive exhibition in the Northern America, right here in downtown Winnipeg. And Andrei Shevchenko was very helpful with this ambitious project. His extraordinary support in preserving the Ukrainian culture worldwide, especially in Canada, pushes people to make miracles. And so our professionals, Valery, Natalya, Timur, Dmytro, it's inspiring. You feel great to be part of this great project. So in a month's time in Winnipeg, the world premiere of this immersive exhibition. Now the floor goes to Dmytro Stus, director of Taras Shevchenko National Museum. Mr. Dmytro worked with the immersive world Taras Shevchenko exhibition. So, Dmytro, what was that experience of bringing Taras Shevchenko world into the modern times, or actually using modern technologies to make Shevchenko's epoch come alive? Well, for more than 10 years, we generated digital technologies. By making pictures and videos on our cell phones. Luckily, we managed to finalize our immersive exhibition, The World of Taras Shevchenko, which gives very important feeling as to who we are, why we're different, what makes us fight for our land, that we are culturally very much different from the Russians. And I believe this cultural front lines, if you will, is no less important. And it's still a fledgling phenomenon, and the better we present ourselves, the more curious people would be about us and about our future. A question to anyone, but mostly to Natalya and Valery. In this immersive exhibition, Lands of the Brave, which photo, which item of the exhibition impressed you the most? What stays in front of your eyes? From day one of this invasion, I'm a volunteer. I come to front lines. I can see with my own eyes what's happening in this war. And this exhibition shows the funeral of the commander of the battalion of the 18th Airborne Assault Battalion. So every time I look at those funeral pictures, I always have eyes coming to my eyes. By the way, this exhibition is broken down into military, kids, women, burials, even the materials that hopefully will be used for the Hague Tribunal. This exhibition is an ongoing project, and at the very end, the separate chapter would be our victory and the pictures from our victory. Valery, from the items of this exhibition, what might knock the best on the hearts of non-Ukrainian audience? Well, we've already observed the reaction of the people. It's about the kids that comes before the burial of battalion commander that Natalya knew. So the items about children, photos about kids who are crying because they're wounded. And you have a lullaby, little kitty cats playing, and it's so emotionally powerful that you cannot believe that something like that could happen in the 21st century. And it stays with you. Crying children, children who are losing their limbs and their lives. That's what could actually knock on you the most. And even our team, when we've seen those pictures, well, we started crying. People start crying at this moment of the exhibition. It was tough to make and tough to observe. Questions from the audience? Юля Гаджина, Ukrinform. You will present this exhibition end of October in Winnipeg. When exactly? What this exhibition is about? How to visit it? What would be the admittance fee? And the duration. You said that this is an ongoing project. Will it be static? Or would it be move around? Well, it's an ongoing exhibition because this is an ongoing war. That's why the exhibition is not being finalized. We will be updating it to present the current events. So hopefully our victory would come fast. But this would be an ever-evolving exhibition. Ukraine Lands of the Brave exhibition is a live organism in this respect. So 31st of October, it will be opened in the Ukrainian Cultural and Educational Center under the title Ukraine, Lands of the Brave, plus another immersive exhibition, The World of Taras Shevchenko. We are also creating 2 new projects, world premieres, another immersive exhibition using the archives of the Cultural Center. So presenting the items of the Ukrainian Canadians, those who emigrated to Canada from Ukraine or were born in the Ukrainian families there. And another one, together with the National Museum of Taras Shevchenko, we will create an immersive exhibition based on the works of Maria Primachenko, an artist whom the whole world now discovers. So we have lots of work ahead of us, of course. Yeah, Yulia will tell you more, but the exhibition would be free of charge. That would allow more people to come and learn about Ukraine. That's how we want to promote Ukrainian art and culture, making Ukraine relevant for the outside world. Another question, this time the last one. Oleg Bilchun. In terms of digitalization, Volia.live is the project that we created with the granddaughter of Maria Primachenko about the patterns of life and death and war and peace. So we digitalized Volia.live, could make 2,000 patterns like this. Would it be an interest for you to make something pan-Ukrainian? Well, Maria Primachenko is an upcoming project, but the focus right now is on immersive exhibitions about Ukraine, Lands of the Brave, and the Taras Shevchenko world. As to its mobility, you have to create special space for it. I mean, you can transport those digital pictures on a memory drive. Toronto, Winnipeg, Paris, Berlin is where we plan to do it. The immersive centers in Ukraine are only in Kyiv and Odessa. So, of course, we will be demonstrating this exhibition all across the world. Any project requires funding. So all our museum can do is digitalizing the works. No national budget funding for us. We do it on our own. But we're ready to collaborate with anyone, but we cannot fund any new projects. My last question to anyone from you. What would you respond to people who would say, well, it's not the right time for the exhibition, all those talents and efforts and funds could be spent for something more tangible to bring our victory closer? Yulia from Winnipeg, well, this is the question that we asked ourselves when the invasion started and we planned for this exhibition. We had to fundraise from our community, from other sources, and we expected that people would say, no, it's not the right time for this, but it happened otherwise. The government and the federal governments of Canada were very much interested. The biggest sponsor of this exhibition is the federal government of Canada. This exhibition will last for 6 months. Like Valery said, free of charge for all of the audiences. Natalya? The goal of this target, Ukraine, Lands of the Brave, would also generate funds for Ukraine. Because the exhibition that we created, we haven't asked for a single kopeck. We did it through our own efforts and fundraising from Renaissance Foundation and federal government. Well, in Winnipeg it will be free, but we collected funds in Toronto and we transferred to the National Bank of Ukraine, Ukraine 24, and 6 million hryvnias is what we have already donated. So during exhibitions we carry out auctions and charity boxes where people could drop their donations. So we generate funds. Taras Shevchenko helped Ukraine financially because due to his exhibition in March, we collected 4 million hryvnias. So Taras Shevchenko is the symbol of Ukraine, helping not only with his works, but financially now as well. Valery Kostyuk, let me finally add here, as to the funding of such events, well, we are grateful to numerous Canadian organizations, festivals that helped us to fundraise. We haven't asked for a single kopeck from our government. We fundraised elsewhere, and it was tough. Natalya and Julia will subscribe to that. But for the country of Ukraine, immersive exhibitions generated more funds than we spent to create them. So what we try to achieve is support Ukraine financially by promoting Ukrainian cultural heritage. Please remember this when you write about art projects, ours and similar to ours elsewhere in the world. Please remember that culture is not about only entertainment projects, but also fundraising projects as well, and bring us to the victory. Thanks to our military, the whole world paid attention to Ukraine. But in order to stay in the focus of attention and to be equal among the equal, we are doomed to develop our culture. So any investments into the culture should be constant, especially into the heritage, because heritage, that's our tradition. That's the values that for us are sometimes more important than lives. And let me add that this project, thanks to which Ukraine and Ukrainians keep win the hearts and minds of the free world, and thus bringing us closer to the victory. We had Valery Kostyuk in Toronto, Yulia Zmerzla in Winnipeg, and here in Kyiv, Natalya Delieva, Dmytro Stus, and we discussed about the immersive projects, Ukraine, Land of the Brave, and World of Taras Shevchenko. Thank you. Please follow our announcements. Stand with Ukraine.